Okay, and we're back. We're reporting live from Video Game Wizard. I'm Aaron Kosharsky.
You're a dork.
This is Laurel. On today's news, Dixie Morning News.
Fuck that. I never paid attention.
Yeah, we got some questions here. The first one comes from Jamie Edwards. What is the most money you have ever made in the store and at the market, or in general? He actually put in the store and the market, but I added the in general in because there was a guy that came to my house one day and he spent $2,000, and that's the most I've ever made in any one sale. So that beats anything from the fleet. Even that $1,400 that I had one time in the store to those wholesalers, it beats that. So anyway, question 2 comes from
Ryan Gay.
Brian Guy. Oh, I thought it said Brian, but then it was R. Brian Guy. When are you and Laurel getting married?
10 o'clock next summer.
Yeah, 10 o'clock next summer is what we've officially decided. So yeah, there's the answer for that. The third question comes from Hero Revolver. Are you a hardcore collector? At first, I was not, but I'm turning into one because, well, Scott and everybody else has a collection, so I figured why not. So now I got a whole bunch of stuff in stored away in safekeeping.
Yes, thank you.
Question number 4 comes from Killa Retro. What advice would you give someone who wants to open up a retro video game store? Well, I would tell them that they need to have a lot of money and a lot of games, because it takes a lot of work to open up a store.
And a lot of money.
And a lot of money. So far, a lot of these questions I've noticed, there's none. I haven't. Oh, here's my favorite question, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 5. This guy has been a fan of mine for a while. And we'll get on. Hold on a second. We'll get back to the questions in a second. Okay. Take 2. There was a customer in the store, so we had to cut the first part. But now we're on question number 5, which again I will say is my favorite question. It is from one of my loyal fans, Sega CD Universe. He tends to comment on a lot of my stuff, and he was asking, will Tommy Hughes ever make a comeback album? Well, Tommy Hughes, the story behind that is, that's my cousin. His name's Danny Bears.
And he's in the intro now.
And yeah, he's in the intro now, which may or may not be changing pretty soon, depending on the rest of the comments. But anyway, that's a different video, different story. So a guy from Seattle, Washington paid me to do a short little video clip, a movie for him and his cousin. We would get $100 to do the video, and I basically gave my cousin a bottle of vodka in exchange for him being on the video, which that's what happened.
You know your aunt and cousins and shit could understand.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I gave him a bottle of vodka, so then he pops out of an elevator half naked, and that's how Tommy Hughes came about. And yeah, but anyway, question number 6. Mind Blown 727, is that it?
Yeah.
Mind Blown 727N. At one point, were you depressed or overstressed? I'm always depressed and I'm always overstressed, but somehow I managed to end up with what I needed in the first place. So it's never like a huge amount. But what's the next question? Question 7. Question 7. 55 Alan Smith Lee.
Yeah.
Alan Smith Lee. How did you first get into buying and selling games? Well, at the flea market. Oh, wait, hold on. How did you meet your friends? Okay, well, at the flea market. Oh, well, yeah, I see that. At the flea market, I used to play piano up by the food concession stand, and I was playing for tips, and during my intermissions and breaks, I would walk the flea market, and I would look for games to sell to Bob, because Bob was, buying games, and tips weren't paying that much, so I'd buy a Mario for like $2, sell it to Bob for $5 to $8. I wasn't realizing that Bob was making more money than I could ever imagine. So what ended up happening?
You sold a Mario for $6?
Well, no, the first Mario I ever sold to Bob, I sold him for $2. It was a copy of Mario World for $2.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's okay for you to sell it for cheap.
I didn't know at the time what I was doing.
Neither did I.
That was my first adventure. But anyway, ever since then, I'm like, yep, screw that. The tips weren't coming in. So I closed up playing piano. I got a booth. And now I buy games for myself to resell. And I do not let Bob have them unless I need money. Sometimes I'll sell stuff to Bob. But anyway, yeah, that's how that happened. And I pretty much met everybody, the whole entire cast, from being at the flea market so long. Like me and Bob, I knew him first. Then Tony showed up. Kenneth showed up.
Yes.
Then obviously, well, Josh is my brother, so I've been forced to know him for 18 years. But I met Joey through his grandmother. I guess his grandmother was the whole reason I got actual spot playing piano in the first place, because she heard me playing on her row. She liked how good I sounded, and then she sent me with my agent, ex-agent, whatever you want to call him, playing piano. And then Joey started showing up, and I found out that was his grandmother. I met Joey, and then Joey brought Scott to the flea market so they could have a little video game sellers thing. That didn't end up panning out. Then Scott went, now he's back at my booth. So yeah, and then Corey and John came along because they were just buying games at the flea market with their friends, and that's how they ran into me and everybody. And then it ended up being John came to work for me, and Corey ended up working for Kenny. And James has been a customer of mine for like 3 years or so that's how I met him. He came by, sold me a Mario game on the DS or something like that. I think it was a Mario Party. He would always trade me like 50 games for one. To get the one good one he wanted, he'd give me like 40, 50 games for it. So that's how that worked. And Danny's my cousin. Well, obviously that's how we met. And Malachi I met through Danny and my other friend Jesse, because they all went to they all went to the same school. So yeah. I won't go into what all happened, how the official reason we met, but yeah. No. Something else. Anyway.
Pornos.
No. No. We're recording.
So?
Number 8. Do you plan on keeping your store at its current location? I just had a discussion with my mother earlier. She was talking about possibly relocating, and I'm like, no, because we got customer base, we got people coming in. Things are going good right now. We're making money in the store. Like, all this week has been good. It's finally starting to pick up. I have a new shirt on, you know.
Thanks to me, because I washed them.
Thanks to her, she washes them. But anyway.
Yeah, so yes, he has more than one.
Yes, I have more than one shirt. And she was in the hospital last week. I spent the night over there. Anyway. Question number 9. I'll smack you. We're on question number 9. Question number 9. Oh, 8 was Asian Sleepy. I don't know if I read that off. But anyway, question number 9 is AMV Lover 777. Do you have hairy nipples? Why would you? Why? Why would you write that down?
Somebody asked that.
I will not show you, but yes, I do have hairs on my nipples.
And
okay.
it's gross.
And the
You
10th
should
and
let me wax them.
the 10th and the final, what would really be gross is if you had hair on yours. But anyway.
Oh.
Question number 10 comes from Jacob Wilson. Jacob wants to know, what is your favorite GameCube game? Well, that if you would have asked me that like 3 years ago, I would have had a definitive answer. But now I have 2 answers, because one, me and my cousin Danny always used to play Smash Brothers, and I got really good at it. I could just beat pretty much anybody.
Fuck Smash Brothers.
Well, anyway, now it's a toss-up, because Mario Kart Double Dash, I can pretty much beat anybody at that as well. So
I beat you sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. Well.
Not when you let me.
Anyway, so I would say it would be between Smash Brothers and Mario Kart are my 2 favorites. I mean, I've also played Wind Waker, but I mean, as far as games that have replay value, Mario Kart and Smash Brothers are always going to have replay value, because it's not like it's the same game. You can play over and over again, and it'll be different outcomes, different items, different scenarios. You know, one race, she could be right next to the finish line. I could plow her in the head with a blue turtle shell and duck underneath her and win. It's just, it's never the
And then he gets the controller thrown into his face.
It's never the same race twice.
It's always the same race twice, because you always can do that.
And I think that was it for the questions. Is there any other questions you'd like to add, or?
Yeah.
My voice is also going a little bit today. That's why if I don't sound like I normally do, that's why. But
It's all that teeth brushing he's done.
yeah, brushed my teeth this morning. Anyway, that concludes the questions, and I'll see you next time I decide to post a video.
It's freezing.